All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming live from Joburg. Good morning and welcome back to the opening bell with myself, Tshepo and Ashley. And this is brought to you by TD Markets and TD Markets Academy every Mondays to Fridays at 9, streaming live on YouTube. I hope you guys had a good weekend. And yeah, welcome to the brand new week. All right, so looking at the markets this morning, we are sticking to last week's script. It's the brand new week, but we stick to last week's script, right? Fundamentally, the US government shutdown is still ongoing. We've got geopolitical tension that's happening. We've got updates on the tariffs. So those are the things that you'll be speaking about this whole time. All right. So we are sticking with the same script and gonna look at some price action. So this morning we've got the crypto market and the commodities market. All right. That is what we're gonna focus on: the cryptos market and the commodities market. Right. So the crypto market and the commodities market, guys. Is buzzing amid the government shutdown, right? Like I said, as well as the geopolitical tension. Bitcoin broke its peak and it is currently hovering around $123. Sorry, $123,955. This is where Bitcoin is right now. Now, you guys will remember we've been vocal and then we've been saying Bitcoin is bullish. We made comparison between the institutional trader as well as the retail trader, right? So these are the movements retail traders are currently targeting. All right. So whenever Bitcoin goes down, they are not interested in selling these movements. They are waiting for such movements. And how do they know that the market is going to go up? It's all based on a lot of factors, but to keep it very simple, fundamentally what's happening with Bitcoin as well as the ETFs, as well as the liquidation of short positions, and also your corporate interest or institutional interest in cryptos. So we don't see the crypto market, particularly Bitcoin, dropping anytime soon, right? The the bearish waves, the bearish movements we see is just short term, but long term it remains bullish. All right. So this is where you need to ask yourself as a trader whether you want to trade the short-term bearish movements or you want to continue trading the longer term bullish movements. All right. I mean, this is where you as a trader need to ask yourself. All right. So yeah, so Bitcoin broke its peak. It's currently trading around that level I just mentioned, but it's going to continue going up. All right, it's going to continue going up. We can see how the price action is at the moment. Let me just zoom out. We can see that it's extremely bullish. It's extremely bullish. I don't even have to draw your trend lines and all of that. We can see they're extremely bullish. All right, so we're just going with the dominant trend. We're just going with the dominant trend. All right, so where it is right now, all we're waiting for is a correction, right? We are just waiting for a correction before we continue trading towards the upside. The correction might appear before it breaks above that high or after it has broken above, right? So it doesn't matter where we're gonna get the correction. So we're just waiting for some correction and then we are looking to continue trading towards the upside. So that is Bitcoin. All right. Now remember, currently there is in the cryptos market, short positions been liquidated. There is more ETFs inflows, right? ETF inflows. And I want you guys to do a bit of research on what I'm talking about. Then you understand how the crypto is performing and how it's likely going to perform. All right. There is more ETF inflows. And also, what's important also to notice is the Bitcoin dominance, as well as the altcoin season index are stable. All right. I'm going to try and make it simple. So the Bitcoin dominance rose to, I think, 58.5%, if I'm not mistaken, 58.5%, which is a 0.03% increase from last week. All right. The Bitcoin dominance that shows, I mean, the name explains it, right? Is Bitcoin dominance that shows that there's a lot of inflows, capital inflows capital that's been shifted towards Bitcoin. All right. And then you've got your altcoin season index. So there's something we call the altcoin season index that is stable. So that's basically an index that shows you whether we are in the altcoin season, meaning there's a lot of demand in altcoins or not. All right. So at the moment, according to the index, 61%. And remember, this index tracks the top 100 performing altcoins, right? Not all the altcoins, but the top 100 performing altcoins. So there is some altcoins that you guys don't know of, right? You're gonna see them on the index. So it is currently 61 to 100, meaning 61% of the altcoins have been outperforming Bitcoin, essentially, right? So that is what the reading means, 61 to 100. So the index is stable. Bitcoin dominance rose. So there is a lot of demand, which we've been talking about on the Bitcoin, while the altcoins are stable. However, they are still going up in value. You look at Ethereum, Ethereum, which continues to push higher. All right, this is Ethereum at the moment. You look at Ethereum that continues to push higher. We've been talking about this in our advanced and intermediary sessions, where we have a higher low that's formed, and then at the moment, price is resuming trading towards the upside. So this was a basic setup. All right, the market broke this structure of resistance turning into support. So this was a basic setup. And then you look at Solana. Solana also, the trend remains bullish. All right, so we are focusing on this trend which remains bullish. And recently it formed a higher low on that 61.8 of the Fibonacci. This is a very strong area, right? The 61.8. This is where the majority of the time you're going to see movements begin. So Solana, Ethereum, they are also positive, moving towards the upside. You look at Ripple, you look at Cardano, you look at your Shibas. They are also starting to pick up. All right. So this is essentially an overview of the cryptos market. All right. So Solana, we continue pushing towards the upside. Bitcoin, this one is gonna fly, right? There might be a correction before price push towards the upside. And then you've got your commodities market. My goodness, right? The commodities market remains stable and a good market to hedge against the weakness of the dollar and fiscal instability, right? Exactly what is happening at the moment, your geopolitical tension and all of that causing the dollar to weaken. The DXY has entered its 9th straight week of consolidation. It is trading in between 98.68 and 97.64. So basically, you're gonna see investors flocking to your commodities market, right? Your gold and silver, simply to hedge against fiscal instability and the weakness of the currency, which is the dollar. All right, and as such, gold and silver broke their all-time high, right? So they are currently creating new all-time highs. All right, so this is a simple breakdown of the chart. On the 1 hour time frame, we are trading within this channel. So it will depend whether you use lower time frames, shorter time frames, or larger time frames, but you are most likely going to continue seeing price doing this, right? Creating these, you see these corrections here. You're going to continue seeing price creating these corrections. These are not reversals. These are simply continuation patterns. All right, continuation patterns indicating that the market is going to resume trading towards the upside. All right, so that is what you're likely going to see on the lower time frames. But on the higher time frames, like your 1 hour H4, you are likely going to see these big ones, right? Like this one here, you're likely going to see such, these big ones. So yeah, so it depends on which time frame you trade, right? But we see gold continue trading towards the upside, right? It's trading within this. So these corrections we get are simply continuations. All right, as at the moment you can see that it has, on the 5 minutes time frame, we can see that it has broken the previous high. So this previous high broke, and then the market came back for a retest there, creating a demand order, not a demand order, but a demand zone. So this is a demand zone. So the price broke above, creating this demand zone. People may call it order block, right? So new traders are going to call this an order block. Price went up to break structure, creating new structure. And then look what happened. It has retraced back down to the order block, right? To the order block. And then it has given us a higher low, right? So from this higher low, whatever happens from this higher low, we're anticipating price to continue trading towards the upside, right? Even if the market may attempt to go back down here again, this order block will remain stronger, right? Will remain strong. We also have this zone here, which is an area where we'll see if price will go down. So if the market breaks below this order block, it's likely going to continue down here, and then this is where we're likely going to see a continuation towards the upside, right? So these are areas of demand, past areas of demand. So we either going to continue from here going up, or we may see another attempt again before we go up, or this might break and come back down here before we go up again. All right, so these are just the possibilities we are seeing here, but it remains bullish. It remains bullish. All right, so that is gold. You also have silver. You also have silver that is similar to gold. um, Obviously on the higher time frames, this is how it's looking. And also it will depend whether you're trading using the shorter time frames or the bigger time frames. On the shorter time frames, you are likely going to see such corrections, giving us an opportunity to continue trading higher. All right. And then on bigger time frames, you are likely going to see these big ones. You're likely going to see these big ones here. You see that, right? These big ones. So it will depend on which time frames you trade in. But yeah, same thought process as gold. Gold continues to move up. All right. You've got silver continues to push up. We're not looking at any movements towards the downside anytime soon. You've got your Bitcoin, you've got your Solana, as well as Ethereum. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's happening at the moment, right? Around the world in the market, gold, silver, Bitcoin is a good to hedge against the weakness of the US dollar. So take full advantage of this, right? Take full advantage of this. And yeah, that is the market breakdown, the overview on the Monday morning. Let's gear up for a week, a good week this week, and then we'll keep you guys updated with the U.S. government shutdown if there's any changes on that. All right. But for now, this is where we're gonna end it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Keep a close eye and good luck. All right. We'll catch you guys back again tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy and cheers.